Come ring in the new year in Denver. Celebrate with parties, champagne toasts, live music, and dazzling fireworks. Plan your celebration and find great hotel packages at milehighholidays.com/NYE.
So there are many different races of what we call Nordics, and there are many different races of what we call Greys. And it's not all good, all bad. There are Grey aliens. It was very frightening, and they were around me, and I was lifted in the air in a beam of light, and next thing I was passing through an airlock. Came in the room a tall grey alien. His skin was he was looking like a tall grey, very thin, with a big head, but his skin was light brown.
This podcast may contain listener graphic content. Listener discretion is advised. Alien Strand Podcast.
Executives, Coastal Bend, and Corpus Christi, Texas. And you're listening to the Alien Strand Podcast with Donald Ledesma. Buying or selling, visit me at kellygreenrealtor.com or visit me on my Facebook page, Kelly Green Realtor. See you there.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Ledesma, and welcome to episode number 44. So this one's called They Came Back. And I'm going to have a real special guest. Her name is Elena Danann. She's currently living in Ireland right now. And she's going to tell her story on her actual abductions and some things that happened to her, and she wants everybody to know what she experienced, because it's very important that she explains it so you can understand exactly, what she went through as a child as well. So before we get into that, I'd just like to welcome everybody to Alien Strand Podcast. You can catch us on 21 platforms, so we're all over. Anyone that you can think of, iHeart, Spotify, we're everywhere, okay? Deezer, everywhere. So, if you have a chance, share it, hit a heart, download it, like, follow, just go ahead and if you want to, you can even download the Alien Strand app. So we have that right now only on Google Play, but if you want to download that app, it's a player. It's just a player. So you can, you can download it on your Android device. And then you can listen to every single podcast that comes out, even the new ones, even when I'm live as well. So you'll be one of the first ones to grab it. And you can actually interact with me while I'm live on the chat as well. Okay, so if you have a chance, go ahead and download that, all right? But you can catch us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and alienstrand.com. Go check us out there. Alienstrand.com has a lot of good stuff there. I haven't updated it in about a month, but I'll be adding a lot of new material. So I'm going to add another section on there as well. You can hear people's stories, and I'm going to add them on there as well. So you can actually click on their pages. All my guests have been on there. I'm going to put a guest link on there, and you'll be able to see their pages from my podcast shows. All right. So, but if you ever want to be on the show, just go ahead and give us a call back on area code 361-245-8000. Again, that's 361-245-8000. You want to be a guest on the show, you got a story, you got an abduction, you have a Bigfoot encounter, you have UFOs that you've caught, anything the unknown. We're here to help everyone and to spread the word on what's going on out there, or what's possibly going on out there. And all this is for you guys. Alien Strand is a big FYI. It's for your information only, so you can figure out exactly what's going on. I hope you guys have caught a lot of my episodes from the past. If you can work your way backwards, go check that out. The first ones ain't too good, but hey, it's okay. The information's still out there for you guys. Go work your way backwards. Go check it out, and that way you'll be able to catch up to a bunch of different stories that I've put out there. Not just alien abductions. I've done Bigfoot. I've done guests with movies and books and you name it. They've told their stories out there. So that way you guys can get a lot more information too, right? So, and what I want to do is I want to thank everybody on Facebook right now, because we have actually hit 5K, which is, I'm not going to say group members because we're not a group there, but we're an information page there on Alien Strand. But if you want to put some pictures or anything, go to the community section on there, and you'll be able to share a post, any pictures you have, or you can even send me pictures through Instant Messenger or my email. I'll grab those and I'll help you analyze them. Okay, if you need some analyzation on those, we can do that. So, this podcast I want to talk about today. It's very important. Like I said earlier. Because, I want you guys to understand exactly what Elena went through. And what better way to hear it is through her own mouth, right? Somebody that has experienced it, just like I did with the Bigfoot, right? So, we're going to go ahead and put her on the phone now. And that way you can hear her story. So, here we go. Okay, so now on the phone we have Elena, Danann, and she's got a really, really important story, and a lot of things that she's been through as far as abductions, and she wants to get the word out and the information out to you guys, to our listeners here today. So I just want to introduce you right now to Elena. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I was able to catch your story, and this is the only. It was kind of like a fluke in a way, because a good friend of mine, his name is Robert Earl White, right? And I started talking to him about his story, and then he pointed me in your direction as well. So when I saw your story and your video that you have on YouTube, which I'll link it to this podcast at the very end. When we finish, so that way people can watch your video as well. So you have a very interesting story of what happened to you as far as alien abductions, and it started as a young child. Could you go ahead and just fill us in on when this happened, how this happened, and where it happened?
Yes, so when I was, I had vivid memories of when I was a child. I was 9 years old, and I was with my grandmother at the window in the room in the house, and we saw by the window this in the sky this UFO, a big UFO, glowing orange light, and it was hovering above the roofs of the town. It was in France, south of France, as you can guess by my accent.
Yes.
So my granny seemed not to be surprised of it. Or she said, "Oh, that's a spaceship," and I went, "What?" I was 9, and the first time I heard about this sort of things, and so what I knew later on is that my granny had been abducted as well, and she never spoke about it, and so she knew what it was, and so I went to bed that night, and the following morning I woke up in my bed. I was 9 years old, yes, and I had a big headache, strong headache, and there was blood all over the bed. In the bed, I was naked. I didn't have my nightgown on anymore. I was naked, blood all over the bed, and I screamed. And it was coming from my vagina, Yes. And so I was totally terrified, and my parents were shocked, and they said, "Oh, it's your period coming early," but it was not right. So they called the doctor, and my granny, I spot my granny crying in the kitchen, and like if she knew something. She knew, but she wouldn't talk. So the doctor came, and that moment I realized I had in my wrists 2 triangles, like tattoos with little dots and purple dots in my 2 wrists, and nobody knew what it was. So the doctor said, "Oh, it's rubella," but he had to give something. And so you got marked up by whatever happened to you. I mean, at the time you didn't understand what it was, correct? When you were no, and I'm going to come back later about that, because I did hypnosis, quantum hypnosis, last December, and all the memory came back. Oh, okay. So so that's only the facts I remember. Right. And then I was hospitalized 2 months with internal bleedings and terrible headaches that I never could find what it was. Oh, wow. And then, and the rest of my life, I had these visions, very vivid, of people, especially a guy and a lady. They were tall, with blonde hair, blue uniforms, and they were appearing in my dreams, and sometimes in my bedroom. And I had memories of having been physically with them and just chatting, and they were showing me stuff, and I'll come back to that later. So I wanted to know more about all that, and I did hypnosis, quantum hypnosis, and all my memory came back, and not only with it, something was unlocked, and I could then communicate with them telepathically. Wow. And so how old were you when you got the hypnosis? A lot of people like to know. It was recent. I'm 51 years old now. So, okay. Yeah. So it was recently. It was last 6 months ago. Six months ago. Okay. Yeah, because I arrived, in the period of my life when I look back and I thought, well, it's time to know now. I've always had this thing that I denied happened to me. I really want to know the truth and get my memory back. Right. So I found an amazing quantum hypnotist, therapist, and she did that online. So it was great for me. I live in Ireland, so and so to go back now to the abduction. All what I get by hypnosis. Sorry if I have difficulty to speak. It's a bit. It's still fresh. I understand. Yeah. I still understand. So what happened that night when I saw the UFO with my granny? I was abducted in my bedroom during the night. 3 small gray aliens appeared in a beam of light in my bedroom, and I was paralyzed. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, and it took me with them, and like beamed up in the light. And it was weird because it was like as I went through the building and the roof, I like dematerialized. It was really weird. And then I was in the ship, and their ship, they left me on the cold floor. I remember everything very vividly. The tiled floor with all the instrument around. The tiles were not square; they were like not regular shapes.
Right.
And then a fourth gray alien came. It was bigger, and he gave orders, and I was lifted like a meter above the ground and led into another room where they laid me on a bed.
Wow.
And very narrow, and it was very, very cold. It was really, really freezing, and the cold was as intense as the fear. And I don't know if I was shaking by cold or by fear, both probably. At that stage, they had removed my nightgown, and I couldn't move, and they tied my wrist to the side of the table by two straps, and one behind me. It was very painful. He stuck a needle in my head behind. It was a double needle, and at that stage in the hypnosis, it was so intense, so unbearable, that the hypnotherapist made me get out of my body, my memories, so I could see everything from above and not feel actually the pain.
Yes, I've heard of this.
I would have had a heart attack.
Yes, it's very painful. I've heard of this. I've even seen videos of it where they're under hypnosis like that, and they could feel everything, and they're falling all over, so they have to take the feeling of the pain away from them while they're still under hypnosis, which you experience. But no, go ahead, keep on.
Yeah, that's why the quantum hypnosis is, I find, better, because you can do that and get out of the body in the memory, and it's quite good. So I saw them insert in my head the double needle and something. So that was the tracker.
Wow.
And in the same time, the two other ones, they were helpers. They were like robots, and I understood later that they were like synthetic life forms, like clones.
Clones, yes.
Yeah, and the bigger one, he was leading them.
Yes.
So in between my legs, they inserted a long oblong tool. They inserted something in me.
Right.
Obviously. Or they probably took something. Anyway, they damaged me very badly.
Yes, you were a
I
child.
could never have children in my life. So
that's unfortunate.
Because of that. So they really damaged me, and at that moment it was really bad. And their ship was attacked. That was quite surreal, but that happened. There was sounds behind the door of this room, and sounds of explosion and shouting, and I heard shouting, men shouting, and and that was that was quite disturbing, and in plus of all the rest, I just was so much more scared because something terrifying was happening.
So all this happened inside the ship, right? You're inside the ship.
Inside the ship.
And you hear this explosion, and then you hear like men's voices. That's what you're saying. So, were those voices audible where you can understand what they were saying, or was it something different? Like you can just hear it, telepathically or something?
No, it was a real voice.
It was a real voice. Okay.
I could hear with my ears, and the language I didn't understand.
Okay. Okay.
I quite didn't remember because the emotion was really, really intense.
Wow.
They would have spoken in English. I wouldn't even have remembered because the emotion was so intense.
Yeah.
Well, it happened that it was not English. And the door blasted, and two tall men in space suits with helmets, transparent helmets, rushed in.
Wow.
And they started shooting at the Greys. And at that stage, they had... the Greys were very panicked before the intrusion of the two men.
Mm-hmm.
They had already started to unwrap my wrists. Probably they wanted to beat me back.
Right.
I think that's what they wanted to do, but they didn't have the time. They were all killed, and they had these two men had weapons like tubes,
Right.
and they were shooting at them.
Wow.
And
Were they tall? Were these men tall?
Yes,
They were
yes.
real tall? About how tall you think they were?
Come ring in the new year in Denver. Celebrate with parties, champagne toasts, live music, and dazzling fireworks. Plan your celebration and find great hotel packages at milehighholidays.com/NYE.
Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today, and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, plus 3.9% APR for 60 months with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Expires 1/02/2024.
I'm going to speak in meters.
Yeah.
Because it's a scale of maybe 1 meter 80, 1 meter 90.
Okay. Pretty tall.
Yeah, pretty tall. Just one of the two men, they killed 3 of them. There were 4 Greys. They killed 3 of them.
Wow.
And the 4th one of them strangled him. That was quite even traumatizing, because when you see a life form, even, strangled to death, it's quite, it was just beside my head, and oh my God, it was like really shocking.
Because the large one is biological. It's not a clone. It's actually a real entity.
Yeah.
So I guess you saw the life form get pulled away from it. When it choked it to death. I guess.
You're right. I think that's it. That's the real alive one that was strangled. They wanted to give him a special treatment, I suppose.
Wow.
And then the man who had strangled the guy, the Grey, lifted me in his arms, and then they left, and there was we went through the exploded door, and there was a beam of light again, kind of big blast of light. And I think we were beamed aboard the other ship.
The other ship?
There, yeah. At that stage, I couldn't yet see the face of these men, because the helmets were not really transparent, and I was in kind of a weird trance, blah blah. Anyway,
like a mirror, maybe almost like a astronaut suit, or was it like?
Oh yeah, like astronaut suits, but thinner. You know, close to body. They were white, glossy, like if there was a fabric underneath, like white, and plastic cover on the fabric. And so I'm now in the other ship, and there's the 2 men, and who beam with me, and there's a lady, and that's when I realized what they look like, because the lady doesn't wear a suit. She's beautiful, blonde, short hair to the shoulders. She had big, wide green eyes, but wider than normal. Something was a bit wrong with her eyes, like bigger. And she was in a blue, very tight suit. And the other 2 men, they removed their helmets. And they were saying, and one removes the one who had rescued me. He had a wavy blonde hair and big blue eyes, and I recognized from my hypnosis session, I recognized that he was, and her as well, they were those that were appearing in my dreams later on, all my life. They were looking after me.
Wow. Now that's kind of strange, though. I mean, for them to just show up like that, and I guess they were watching over you. I mean, because they basically saved you.
Yeah, they saved me.
They saved you.
That's what they say to me, that they do that. They rescue people from abductions and they try to get back home.
Wow.
And they do that a lot. So at that stage, there was a bit of panic in that ship. They were a bit stressed. I understood later it's because I had a tracker. And they had to either get rid of that tracker, deactivate it, or either throw me overboard because they were going to be on troubles, probably.
I didn't think they were going to throw you overboard. I mean, they already saved you.
I try to speak fast for my... So they laid me down on the table, and I was still naked and bleeding. So the lady just cleansed me. And the man, he removed his spacesuit jacket, the top, so I could see he had the same blue uniform underneath. And he put it on me.
Covered you up.
Suddenly, he covered me with it. And suddenly I felt so warm, and I just relaxed. But I still was numb. So she was trafficking something behind my head, and she was trying to remove this implant, and she couldn't, obviously. So the tension was growing, and the man was saying to her, talking in this language I couldn't understand, and sometimes he was talking to her with a voice, and sometimes I think they were communicating telepathically. He probably simply hurried her, and they finished to argue, and she finally did something that he told her to do. And I understand afterwards what he asked her to do, because in fact they couldn't remove the implant because it was somewhere in my brain that where it would be dangerous to just play around with it. So she deactivated it, but left it, and I still have it to this day.
You still have it? Wow.
Yeah, and they tuned it to their own frequencies. And suddenly I could understand what they were saying.
Really?
But the pain in my head was absolutely horrible. And at that stage, the quantum therapist, she again made me get out of my body. So then I could see what the alien lady was doing behind my head. And it was very interesting. I could see all the instruments and that belonged to describe, but I could see everything.
Yes, because you were outside your body, basically looking down, almost like when when people talk about when they've passed over and then they come back, they see their body. So is that the way you were trajectorying yourself? In other words, seeing it in that sense?
Yes, that's something that quantum hypnosis can do. It's absolutely fantastic, and that's it. Projecting myself. I don't know really how it works, but that's what happened.
Wow.
And it was very safe technique. I have to say, very safe. I was feeling safe, and so it was really working well. So. And then I fell asleep in the ship, and they brought me home. I just remember I woke up at a stage. I was sat on kind of a table in the ship, and it was suddenly all calm, and there was a big window. The two men were piloting, and I saw the Earth by the window, and we were flying towards the Earth. And then I wasn't supposed to see that, so the same guy stood up and he put his hand on my forehead, and I lost consciousness.
Wow. Wow.
And they brought me back.
So when these extraterrestrials took you, when they first abducted you, that means that they took you. You were already out of Earth's atmosphere. You were up there. Maybe that's why it was so cold. In their ship and as well. But do you remember when you got into the other ship when they rescued you and took you to the other ship? Do you remember if there was a temperature change inside of there?
Yes.
There was?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was still not super warm, but it was way warmer.
Right.
And I wasn't shaking anymore.
Okay. So they brought you out of I guess whatever the extraterrestrials put you under, or aliens put you under. In other words, like when you can't move your body anymore. I can't remember the word for it right now, but it's like when you're stuck, you can't move. When they rescued you, were you able to move your body freely after that?
Yes, it came back progressively.
Okay.
It came back progressively, and the thing I was explained later, and it made sense, that the marks I had on my wrist, inside of my wrists, I've been told it's called scoop marks. In fact, my memory is when I was abducted, when they tied me down to the table, the small grays, they put wrist bands around my wrist to tie me up, and it was very painful inside. So I suppose there was some bit of, it's like needles coming into, because there were needle dots on my wrists following morning.
Right.
And I think, well, that what I understood, there's a product causing it, and that acts on your nervous system, that numbs you.
Right. When you talk about the bounds of the wrists, how they held your feet and your hands down. I've always thought about this because even in Travis Walton, when they did that, it kind of bounded him down in a way. Even in another one, Mr. Whitley Strieber, they did the same thing to him at first. I believe that when they do this, the only reason they do that is because they can't subdue everybody in their, you know what I mean? It's like for them to able to control you, they can't just control everybody. There's some people that can really break free from their control. I've heard of this. So
listen, I have psychic abilities since I am a child. So that's maybe it wasn't easy with me.
Oh, okay. Right. Yes, I know. I was just kind of bringing that up because that reminds me of why people. Because you would have people probably say, well, why are they strapping you down, and why are they doing this? When they have you under control. And this is the reason why. Because not everybody can be under their control. And, to be clear, I was kind of numbed when they took me, because when they took me in the bedroom, I couldn't speak, I couldn't shout. There was something, right, like paralysis.
It was like a vibration or something, a vibe that was numbing me a bit, putting me in trance. But that wasn't, I think, enough. They need to physically just shut you down, because what they're going to do to you, it's horribly painful.
It's horrible. Right. Wow. Wow. Well, continue. Keep on going.
So then they brought me back, and I had other contacts in my life, and I remember when I was about 14, I saw this lady again appearing in my bedroom, and she was there, and she was smiling, and she said, "Do not be afraid, do not be scared, don't worry, we won't harm you." And then I was again beamed aboard their ship, and I haven't worked with hypnosis on this, but I remember this episode very, very vividly. They beamed me on board, and they were checking on me regularly, and they showed me. I know this ship by heart, the inside of the ship by heart. They showed me on the round. There was a round table, and there was a screen it was a glass screen on the table, and there was a screen of the sky, the maps of the sky, the stars, and it was blue, and there were lines and designs, luminous, like holographic designs, a bit everywhere.
Was it real colorful? Was it real colorful in there, or like bright lights?
Oh no, the ship, it was like creamy white with metallic gray stuff.
Oh, okay.
And so the guy, always the same, he showed me on this map. I remember, I have this memory, him showing me star positions. And star positions, and that's what I remember. And then the next memory, I'm back in my bedroom. I'm on the floor, and lying on the floor, like I'm back, and I fight my memory. I try to remember. I know I need to be very fast, very quick, because before I forget that I have a short window where I still can remember.
Right.
So I remember I found I had in my books astrology map of the sky.
Okay.
And that was fortunate, and there was still a constellation on it. I opened it on the ground, and I was putting stickers on all the stars I could remember. They showed me, and very quickly.
Wow.
And but then my memory was just dissolving, and then that was it. Couldn't remember anything.
Wow.
But I remembered. I couldn't remember anything about the map anymore. And but I remember that I was shown that. So here I am with this map with all the stickers, and I fold it back, and suddenly a big fright seized me, and oh my God, what just happened? Recently, I found this old map again. I found it just after my hypnosis session, and that was very timely because my mother found it and sent it to me by the post with other stuff. It was in it, and I went, oh, that's weird. That is found again.
Wow.
What that's not.
Yeah.
That's not chance. It's something weird.
What are the chances of that, right? I mean,
yeah,
wow.
No, that was too weird.
Wow.
And so now that I have, after my quantum hypnosis session, that I renew the contact, because I didn't have the time to say as well. The implant just reactivated, and it's like I can communicate telepathically now sometimes with them. And one day I said, what about the map? And I heard, we will show you. Wow. So I completed it.
Really?
With them, yeah.
Really?
So it's
is it a map of their home, or is it something special?
It's a map of the sky, the stars. It's a map of the stars, and it shows the different worlds, inhabited worlds. So
really, inhabited worlds. Wow. Well, wow.
Yeah, not all of them, because there are so many. Just the ones important in interference with Earth.
Right.
And during the quantum hypnosis, then quantum hypnosis does something that it puts you in contact, if you wish so, with the beings that you remember, who you remember, because it's quantum. When you have a link with something, you can just communicate with it. So there was an energy signature, a link, something with these extraterrestrials in my past,
right,
that I had still this energy connection, and I suppose that's how it just redid the connection,
right,
and that I can now communicate.
Do you believe that that there's like a just like you said, I mean, when you come in contact with an extraterrestrial or a spaceship or any species like that, do you believe that whatever happened to you, as far as that, it kind of goes in a circle, like in a cycle, like a connection, like a string connection that's always there until you reconnect with it. You like a signature. You know what I'm trying to say is, like, there's like some kind of signature there, and then when you connect with it, well, you get in tune with it, almost like music, right? You fine tune yourself to it, and then from there you can communicate with these extraterrestrials once somebody helps you get in tune, just like what happened to you. Do you believe like in that sense?
No, absolutely. I would absolutely describe it like this, that at the moment there's a connection. It's connected, and you just have to activate it.
Right. Yeah, because I have a few friends that have come in contact, and these they still don't understand what they are yet, and but they want to know a little bit deeper. And I think the way that you did it is the key to communicate a little bit better, to find out exactly what extraterrestrial or alien or whoever you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my case, it was good to do it to connect with the good ones, the Nordics. But if you are abducted by not rescued, if you are abducted by very nasty ones, you surely don't want to connect with them again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you have a bad experience, maybe try not to connect. Try to just protect yourself and become invisible to them. You know?
Right. Do you believe that the implant is there, so that way they can just keep on coming back for you? In other words, the bad ones, why they do this to you in order to do that?
Yeah, they put implants, it's trackers, because they abduct you once, they find you a good subject, they take you again and again and again and again and again. Mostly is for genetic harvest and hybridization programs.
Right.
I know they did that to my grandmother as well, and often it follows family lines. And my grandmother had psychic abilities as well.
Wow.
So I'm convinced it follows family lines. I've heard that as well.
Yeah. They say if you have the good genes, the good DNA, they'll just keep on coming down the family line, And
it may be the blood as well,
Yes,
something in the blood.
Something in the blood.
So,
right.
And I got lots of information about the races and everything, and
capture life's moments like never before with Rockbrook Camera, Nebraska and Western Iowa's premier camera store since 1975. Rockbrook Camera is not just about selling you a camera. It's about helping you become a real photographer, recording your life and sharing it with others. Today's cameras are faster, easier to use, capable of shooting stunning video, and with film photography making a comeback, there's never been a better time to dive into the world of photography. Rockbrook Camera goes as fast or as slow as you want to go. You can try before you buy with camera rentals, or give that older generation camera in the used department a whole new journey. Find Rockbrook Camera, 1 block south of 168th and West Center in Omaha, 70th and Pioneers in Lincoln, and at rockbrookcamera.com. That's rockbrookcamera.com. Discover or rediscover your love of photography today at Rockbrook Camera. Great photography begins here.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
We don't have enough time to tell everything.
Yes, but you were also abducted as a small infant as well, correct?
Yes. That was other aliens. Yes, I didn't mention that from the start to go straight to the important story. Yes, when I was a child, baby, I was also abducted by other aliens. a tall grey, but a benevolent one.
Okay.
I think these ones were also taking care of my granny. Well, what happened, if you have time, I was still a baby because I couldn't speak. I didn't have the ability to speech yet.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother was telling, and she was all the time there when something was happening anyway. She was reading to me a bedtime story.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the bed, and behind her, in the wall, I saw a small grey, but that wasn't the same ones as the ones who abducted me later when I was 9. It was different ones,
Right.
tinier and I'd say cuter. They weren't frightening at all. They were frightening,
Right.
of course, but not as much as the other ones. They had more smooth features and bigger eyes, but they were like clones as well. I suppose they were weird.
Okay.
Anyway, this guy appears behind her, and I scream, and I'm shocked. And she turns back, and she sees nothing. She said, "There's nothing." I said, "Yes." I couldn't speak,
Right.
and she leaves, and I fall asleep. I think, I don't remember. And suddenly there's this big beam of light that comes from the ceiling, and my body is lifted in the air, and I arrive in this another ship, not the same one. Well, I don't remember the ship. I can't tell what it looked like, because all I remember is the airlock I'm passing through. I don't know how it looks like from the outside, so I'm there, but the 3 little greys, the nice ones, they're here, and it's cold, but not that cold. It's fresh.
Right.
My clothes are not taken off. I'm brought. I'm floating as well. Same method to a bed. And I'm very scared, and I'm not numb, but I'm scared, and I'm moving a lot. And so one of the little greys, he applies on my chest an oblong tool that glows, and glows at one extremity with kind of pink fuchsia color light, and he applies that on my chest, and suddenly I feel calm. It sounds like a vibration in it, like a sound wave, something, and it calms me down, and I'm all calm. I'm not paralyzed. I'm just calm.
You're just calm, right?
Calm, really calm, and so calm, artificially calm. And then enters this tall grey, and he looks very nice. Of course he's a tall grey, but he's a good one, and he smiles slightly. He has very slow moves. He wears kind of brown suit, and his skin is not that grey. It's kind of clear brown as well.
Yes, I've heard of this.
And he hasn't got the black lens eyes. He has indigo blue eyes with a clear blue pupil in it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's nice, and well, it's scary because he's like looking like a tall grey, but so it's always scary.
So the eyes are big, though. The eyes are still big, right?
Eyes are still big.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And a big head, a very small nose, but he has a nose, and a thin mouth, no lips, and he smiles like very protective, and it just starts to touch me and to check me out, lifting my arms, my ankles, and it catches my face, and it turns my jaw right, left. It's just checking me out like a doctor would do.
Yeah.
And then it puts a hand on my chest, and this light, pink light, just glows again. And then when he does that, he's bending over me, and his head is so close to mine, and I'm not scared. It's weird.
Wow.
And I don't remember. He speaks to me in French, because it's the French language at the time.
Right.
And he says to me something like, "Don't worry, all will be well, all will be fine, we're taking care of you, do not worry." And he calls me my child.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I kind of fall asleep and relax. He's full of love and nice. It's really good. No harm is done to me. They're just checking out on me. And I'm brought back. Suddenly, I'm beamed down. They brought me back to the airlock, and they bring me down. And nothing has been wrong has been done to me, just checked out.
Right. They just examined you. That's it. Kind of like just almost
checking
seeing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Checking everything is all right. And I'm brought back, and I come down in this beam of light, and I float a little bit 1 meter above the bed, and then come down in the bed, and suddenly I realize I'm paralyzed. I'm kind of numb. And the numbness goes, but for a few seconds, I'm like shocked. But I think it's the shock.
Right.
And because I wasn't numb on the ship, I was just very overly relaxed.
Right.
And then I realized what had happened, and I just screamed the hell out of me. Scream.
Wow.
And just my granny comes up the stairs and comes in, and
let me ask you a question. Since you were abducted those the few times already, when do you remember, even under hypnosis, do you remember how it felt like to be inside of? In other words, like when it lifts you up, do you remember the sensation around you? Does it feel like, I've heard before that it almost feels like you're in water, but you can breathe in a way, like the way you can move inside, like a bubble in a way, but
well,
not
it's
water.
light. It's the light, the material light, but it's dense. It's like a dense light.
Okay.
And it's like a bit of thin air. It barely can breathe. It's like you need to breathe, make more effort to breathe.
Okay.
And it's light, but dense light, solid light. It's weird. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, and it goes through the buildings.
Wow. And that sensation, did you feel it all the way up to until they set you down on the floor, and then you could breathe a little bit better, even on the ship?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can breathe better on the ship. Yeah.
Okay.
On the ship, when I was 9 years old, the bad ones, I learned later they were from Zeta Reticuli.
Oh, Zeta Reticuli.
And there the air was still thin, but I could breathe better than in the beam, light beam.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the stories you're telling me are just they're just mind blowing, really in reality. And I wanted our listeners to hear your story, because I mean, it's important to hear it from somebody that has experienced it. It's not easy. It's not easy to come out and tell your story like this, because there's going to be a lot of critics out there, a lot of people saying, about, crap, this, here, that, whatever. But, you're not here to explain yourself in that sense. You're not trying to make people believe. You just want to get your story out there, and you just want to be heard, because you actually experienced something that you couldn't understand at first until you were under hypnosis. And then now that you've learned exactly what it is or what they were, you've kind of embraced it, and then now you're speaking out to everyone that wants to hear. And yes, and that's what Alien Strand is about. We're here to get the word out and to help everybody else as well, just like you're doing today, Elena. We really appreciate you for that.
I'm going to take the opportunity to pass a message to. So my message is, to all who have been in these situations of being abducted, know that you're not alone. Know that you can talk, you can express yourselves. There are social medias for that. There are podcasts, videos. Speak out. It is the moment now to speak out. You risk nothing. Be brave. Get it out of you and speak out. And we are millions of abductees, and we have to hold elbows together, and we need to understand what's happening. So don't be afraid, speak out. And that's my main message.
Great.
You're not alone. We're all together.
We all work together, exactly. And thank you, Elena. Thank you that's a great message. I mean, you said it best right there. And hopefully everybody can hear your story on Alien Strand, and you actually have a YouTube video out there floating around. What I'll do is I'll link it to this podcast, and also where can people find you if they want to talk to you or see your page or anything? Do you have something like that?
Yeah. There are two things they can do. So I have a page that where I put all on Facebook, where I put all my channelings and messages I receive to share. The Facebook page is called Pleiadian Contacts, Pleiadians with an E, Pleiadian Contacts. And because the Nordics who rescued me were mainly Pleiadians, and they were from Pleiades, Epsilon Eridani, and Sirius B.
Nice.
And so Pleiadian Contacts on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And then if you want to, I would recommend this if you need help. This lady who helped me, this quantum hypnotherapist, she's specialized in alien abductions. She's done abductees. She knows so well her job, and she has lots of information and data, and she's really good at it. So if you need help, she does sessions online. Her name is Eliza Wright,
okay.
And Quantum Life Transformations. It's her website. It changed my life, and now if I'm here talking about it, it just set me free, and
good.
Here we go.
Good. And I'm sure you feel better now. You probably had like a lot of lost questions floating around all your life, trying to figure out what's going on. Why do I have these visions? Why am I having these dreams like this? Why is it, until finally you got your answer. And it's like having an uptight feeling most of your life until you're set free.
I know. and I had like PTSD. Like I couldn't. The dentist. I couldn't. It was reminding me the instruments. I couldn't. I bet all abductees have dentist frights.
Well, yeah, it's just the lights, the chair, you're sitting there and it kind of reminds you, it's going to bring you back really, really in reality, and you're probably wondering why that stuff was happening. But thank you so much for being on the show today. Elena, it's Elena Danann, and I'll point people your way so they can go check out your Facebook. I'll put a link to the Facebook, and I'll put a link to your YouTube video that I found you on, so people can, and I know on that video you have a lot more to say on that about the different species and everything out there, and it's a good thing for them to watch it as well, so they can. Yeah,
and I'm going to write. I'm writing a book at the moment about all that, so keep tuned.
Oh, good.
You know everything.
Good. Oh, and another thing. I saw the art that you were posting on the actual YouTube video. I mean, you're an artist. When I saw those the pictures you drew, because you draw everything out what you experienced, and people can actually see, if you go to that YouTube the video, you'll see the pictures she drew, and you'll see exactly what she went through, because it shows the visions and everything she saw, and you'll see the aliens of the different species and what they look like. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate you, and we all appreciate you here at Alien Strand. I know we're keeping you up over there. It's probably 3 o'clock in the morning already over there, but
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's my pleasure to help.
thank you so much for being on this show again. We appreciate you so much for getting your story out, and to let people know exactly what you went through, even as a child. So that way they know that there is child abductions and ugly things do happen to them as well. So and your story has it's going to open up a lot of eyes for people. So thank you again, Elena. I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Okay. Thank you.
Well, once your book comes out, you better send me a copy.
Yes, it will be called A Gift from the Stars.
Nice, beautiful. Well, I'll be keeping a tab on you just to see what it looks like, and I'll be pointing all my Alien Strand fans to go buy your book as well. Heck yeah.
Okay, great. So thank you. Thanks for giving voice occasion to speak to all of us. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You have yourself a good night, okay? And we'll speak.
You too.
We'll speak later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Yes, bye. Well, there you go. What a awesome interview that was. If that didn't open your eyes, I don't know what will. It opened mine, and a little bit more. And just like I always talk about, as far as trying to solve this puzzle, on what we're trying to figure out, what's out there. And she explains it because she went through, this as a child. Wasn't so bad as a baby, but as 9 years old, it was pretty horrific, what she went through, and then got rescued. So that was one heck of a story, and she's putting it into a book. So please, if you have a chance, when she finishes her book, I will post it out there for you guys there on Alien Strand, so you can check her out, okay? So, but I just want to thank Elena for coming out and expressing herself and telling her story to you guys. So that way, you can pretty much imagine or what she went through. And she pointed a therapist out as well, and I will add her to the end of the podcast, that will help abductees. So if you're an abductee and this podcast helps you, I'll post a link to that therapist on there. You can get in touch with her, and it'll help you open your eyes as well to whatever you're going through that you don't understand. And that's what Alien Strand here is about. So I hope you guys got a lot of information out of this podcast today. Like I said, you can catch us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and alienstrand.com. So, there's just so much information out there. And the information she just gave us today. And, the story she told, you can tell your friends, tell them you heard it on Alien Strand. Point them out to Alien Strand podcast number 44. It's called They Came Back with Elena Danann. So, but until then, you guys have yourselves a good day. Have yourselves a good evening. And a good night.
Channel, Alien Adam. That's ALIENADAM. All one word, no spaces. We'll see you there.
What I say is how I feel.
What's up, guys? This is Osborne. You're listening to the Alien Strand podcast with Donald Ledesma. My new project, Genesis, is dropping May 8th on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. You can keep up with me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at OsborneLid. That's with 3 T's. I see you guys there.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.